Okay, so in addition to making some security settings in your meeting controls specific to the meeting, there's some general ones that you can set on your whole account as well. So in our settings on zoom.us, make sure waiting room is enabled, always. And waiting room options, make sure it's set to everyone will go into the waiting room. This should be set already for you. Include a passcode. This should also already be set. And then require passcode for instant meeting. These should see how they say locked by admin. Those should be going. Now, this one you can make decisions on. If you're having some problems with Zoom bombing, you might want to turn this one to off. So this embeds the passcode for the invite in a one-click join. So this is where they click on the link from your Zoom calendar and it from your Canvas calendar, excuse me, and it pops them right into the Zoom and they don't have to put in the password. If you turn this off, you're going to have to give them the link and then below that also give them the password that they have to then type in. So you can turn that on you can leave that on or you can turn it off. Here's the authenticated users thing. It's going to make sure that they can only log in with BSD online, like the logins. Now, where that gets kind of sticky is we have a lot of new students who don't have their BSD stuff, or we have students who are having trouble with their BSD passwords, but they're still trying to join us on Zoom for our classes right now. If we turn that on, only authenticated users, and you leave that on all your meetings, then you're going to make it so they can't join at all. So I have this turned off on my meeting. It's turned on globally on here, and that's fine. It just means I have to turn it off on my meeting. And then in scheduling meeting, host video, participants video, you can turn on or off. So this has the participants start with their video on. I'd leave that off. And if you come down just a little bit further, there's mute participants on entry. And here's a couple more things. Chat. If you're having some trouble with chats, you can prevent participants from saving the chat. And this one is the other thing you can turn off. You can stop allowing participants to send messages. If you're having trouble with the chat and you want to be more webinar based, again, be careful with that because a lot of kids, especially right now, are much more comfortable speaking in the chat and asking questions in the chat, and we don't want them to feel alienated. Make sure to leave this one off. So private chat, which allows participants to send one-to-one messages to each other so that Johnny can be messaging Susie in class. Turn that off. Make sure this is off. It's a good idea. Autosave chats for you. Here's where you can turn off the sound notification if someone leaves or joins. That's where you can turn that off, Matt. And then scroll down. There's more and more and more sharings, blah, blah, blah. Screen sharing. If this becomes a problem for you, you can change it to where it's host only as kind of your global setting. Again, you can change it within individual meetings as well. And more whiteboards. Here's meeting reactions if you want to turn that on or off. Again, remember our Chromebooks do not have reactions. And so if you are having kids use the reactions controls, you're saying our Chromebook kids can't use them. It's only kids on other devices that can use reactions. This one, allow remove participants to rejoin. So right now I have this turned off. So that means if I fully kick a kid out of the meeting, I kick them completely, they can't come back until the next time I open that meeting. Now, if I turn this on, then if I kick them out and they go and fix whatever, it's going to throw them back into my waiting room when they come back in. So you can do that. Here's the allowing participants to rename themselves option so that in your meetings they can change their names. So this could be really important, especially for students who, LGBTQ plus students who need to change their names so it doesn't reflect their dead name, or for students who put it in their pronouns into their Zoom names, which can be very, very helpful. And it's really important to them. So think long and hard before you make any changes to that. Hiding profile pictures. If you have kids who are showing offensive profile pictures, Here's where you change that. We don't want to give them ideas. And more and more settings. The next thing that could prove disruptive, if you make it disruptive, would be the virtual backgrounds. So when we start having kids show more of their faces, do you care if they show virtual backgrounds? Probably not. But maybe you want to make sure that they can't use it, and so you can turn that off. Same with the filters. So if you want them, so when they're putting on little cat ears or whatever, little halos and hats, you can turn that off in your meetings. You can make it so they can't do that. Identifying guest participants, please make sure that this is turned on, because that will, especially if you don't have the authenticated users thing, this will make it clear which students are joining on maybe like their mom's account and that kind of thing. It's going to show which ones are not logged in with a BSD. So that's going to make it really, really clear to you which ones could potentially be not acting appropriately. And again, there's more and more settings. There's tons of them in here. This next one I want to show you, attendees joining before the host, make sure that that doesn't happen. So, and think those are the big ones. Yep, those are the big ones. So there's a few things you can change in your actual settings tab, in addition to settings that you can change in your meetings tab that will help you like make your Zoom room just a little bit safer and more manageable.